Hello, everyone. I'd like to actually introduce you to, if it works, Pantone 220. It's MMV pink. This is the color that we use for our logo. We have, it's one of our colors in our logo. We use it for all our publications, our presentations, as you can see, and we love it. But there are some people in our organization that are concerned. We work in science. We work in developing medicines for malaria. What are we doing with pink? Why pink? What's wrong with gray? What's wrong with blue, I get asked. All very valid questions, I'm sure, except we think that, as David said, and I noted that down, it gives us selective advantage for our brand, actually. It makes people sit up and take note. What's a scientific organization doing with pink? Let me have a look. So our scientists now, after we've worked on them, our communications department is exactly 3 people, and we work closely with our scientific and access and product management colleagues. And we've kind of convinced them that if you're in a serious area of work, you don't have to think in gray and blue. And actually, we use it. It's this bold, vibrant, memorable color that makes people sit up and take note. And we use it to good effect. For example, let me give you an example here. About 7 years ago, we thought, okay, let's find a way to visually depict what we do. So we got ourselves a young designer from Italy. You know, they're the best designers. Everyone knows that. So we got an Italian designer, and I sat her down and gave her my spiel. You know, I said, well, this is who we are. We're a small, not-for-profit organization that develops new medicines for malaria, more effective, more affordable. We work with over 400 partners across the world, science partners, research, policy, access, all these partners. And we have a small but strong donor group who support us. And so we work with public and private sector players, and this is what we do. We develop new medicines for vulnerable populations across the world. Well, she listened to me. I think we sat and talked for about a couple of hours, and she said, okay, I'll come back to you in a week. And this is what she came back with. Here is an arboreal ecosystem. She saw MMV as a tree. It was a pink tree, but it was a tree. And we were sitting on solid ground. That were the donors. Our roots were deeply embedded. We were transferring nourishment to this tree that had public and private partners, flowers of different colors, pink and purple. And the fruit of that tree were the new medicines. So, and then we had it animated. I don't know if Moreva is here, but they actually did an animation for us. And it just blossomed into this beautiful pink tree. And we got the scientists back on our shoulders again. And they're like, what? We're into the agribusiness now, are we? I mean, we don't develop fruit, we develop medicines. But again, 7 years from then, we're still using that image, and they're using that image to tell the world who we are, what we do, and it's effective. It's a great analogy for the work we do and the public-private partnership that we are to develop new medicines. So anyway, our scientists are now using this. We consider this a coup. It's a victory, actually, for us. I'm sure the communicators in this audience will understand what I'm talking about. It's never that easy because scientists and access and development product development people are actually very serious, and they want to see things seriously, not in this flippant pink, hot pink, female, we're not breast cancer, we're not, we're into R&D. I'm happy actually to see today that lots of bright colors, Liverpool School, for example, using good bright colors to advocate and to tell their messages. But anyway, so scientists are now using our pink, our tree, to talk to our target audiences. Now, this is a quick snapshot of who we communicate to. It's a small group, relatively. We don't really target the general public. Our target audience is primarily our donors and our board and our advisory committees. They're our core group. They're very small, but that's our core group. So we have to make sure everything we say is acceptable and in a way that they understand. Then, of course, we have our scientific partners, which is a large group. We now have a large network of over 400 partners across the world. Then we have policymakers. We work with the WHO, with international organizations, and with regional national malaria control programs. So we have to communicate to them. And of course, then there's the MMV staff who also need to know what all these very important scientists are up to. So this is our target audience. But I'm not here to actually talk about just the target audience and what we say. I'm here to say how we say this. And this is just a quick sample of what we use to attract attention and to make sure that people are open to our messages. So we use images, of course, as everyone does, and vibrant colors, apart from hot pink. Apart from the MMV pink, we have some other colors in our palette. We use simple analogies like our tree, which was beautiful. And of course, strong stories, as I think it was the END program that actually came up with these lovely stories. And we are always on the lookout for those as well. So that's what we do. I'm trying to keep this short as I got this email from Cameron who said 10 minutes, that's it. So let me take you through some samples, some examples of our communications. So, okay. So striking images. Here you see the covers of our annual reports for the past 6 years, actually. And you see that we're not shy and retiring at MMV. We're very in your face. And we use the images, very striking images of the people we work for, actually. These are the people who live in malaria-endemic countries, malaria-endemic regions of the world, and we have them on our covers because that's who we work for. And of course, the colors, apart from MMV pink, there are other bright colors there. Doesn't it make you want to kind of say, oh, I wonder what's behind that cover? So it's a question of attracting people and making them want to open that book. So that's our covers. Now, going back to analogies, we thought in 2011, we launched the malaria box. This was an actual physical box of 400 compounds that our scientists told us would catalyze research and development, would stimulate research and development for malaria and other neglected diseases. So we saw it as a Pandoras box of possibilities. You know, you'd open this box and boom, so many different compounds would emerge, and who knows where they could lead us. So we came up, hopefully, with the malaria box idea, which was a box, Pandora's box opening up. So based on the story we were told by our scientific colleagues, this is what we came up with. This helped attract so many researchers asking for this malaria box, and they received it for free from us. So 250 odd boxes went out to researchers in 30 countries. And our scientists were so happy with this result. They said, oh, Jaya, do you think you could come up with some more? Because we're planning some other exciting initiatives. And so the malaria box led to the pathogen box, which, by the way, for researchers in the audience, please come and talk to me. This is still open and compounds are still available. So if you're interested, do come and talk to me. Then we have the pandemic box. And what's up next? The stasis box. So, all these exciting new stimulants for R&D are available, some in the pipeline, and all under this MMV Open Access Initiative. And look, another analogy here. The MMV Open logo is a key. So, we do really try to be inventive and creative with our communications. First of all, it feels good, actually. We sit there scratching our heads thinking, ooh, how can we say this? And it's great to come up with some new ideas here. So that idea actually came from our designer, who we love and adore and wouldn't share him with anybody in this room because he is just amazing. And everyone obviously works with designers in this room, but sometimes you just click with someone who listens to you and understands what you're trying to say. So he came up with a number of posters. We've got loads, and I'm just going to show you a couple here. Well, 3 to be exact. That's the R&D process in lots of bright colors. We said we need to, talk about the malaria life cycle, the parasite life cycle, and how we can explain this in a big poster. So he came up with this gorgeous thing. Now, we tried to listen to our scientists and said, okay, make it blue this time. But they didn't like it. It was too bright. Can't we go back to light blue? No. So this now was so well received. It's actually in the backdrop of a TV program here somewhere in the UK. And it was on the set. They really liked it. And he also did another life cycle graphic for us that's been published in papers as well. So one piece of advice, always work with a fantastic designer, which I'm sure you do, but yeah. So on the lookout for cutting edge stuff to new ways to communicate what we want to communicate. If you go upstairs, you'll find MMV at a glance. It's our summary of our annual report. Each year we do, so that people don't have to wade through, 56 pages of an annual report. 6 pages, available to all in hard copy. And then we thought, a couple of years ago, why aren't we doing this online? So we thought digital book. Now for us, that was quite a big thing, we thought, especially for me. I'm not really, wired into what's happening these days. But digital book, and everyone loved it. Our fundraising colleagues said, wow, this is great because we can take this to donors, prospective donors, and take them through just by clicking on who we are and what we do. So our tree is in there as well. Do take a look, mmv.org. A plug for MMV there. But anyway, so there's that. And what's up next? Green. So we are currently in the middle of producing, and I think it was Lois who talked about an illustrated novel, graphic story. So we are doing what we are calling an interactive illustrated story. Going back to storytelling, it's very important that we tell the story of people with malaria. And here we have the story of a 4-year-old called Reagan, who lives in a patch in Uganda. And we've done a film on him. He survived severe malaria with a product that MMV supported, which is injectable artesunate. So we take his story right from when he was unwell and in hospital and take him right through when he goes home. And we worked with a Ugandan artist, actually, to develop this interactive tool. And it will be launched on World Malaria Day, which I'm sure you all know is the 25th of April. It'll be launched with the film. So we're doing this joint launch. So do look for it on our website if you're interested. And then we're also in Times Square, believe it or not. So about 3 weeks ago, we're opportunistic. Somebody else said opportunistic. I took a note of that. But anyway, we got a call from a media agency who said, you know what, we've got 15 seconds, and would you like to be in Times Square for a very, very reduced rate. And we thought, whoa, never done this before for the public. Well, we did about 7 years ago. But now we're in Times Square. If you're ever in New York over the next 3 months, just look up and you might see MMV. So that's how we look to communicate at MMV. We are opportunistic. We're innovative, we think. We're creative, also we think. It's up to you to judge. But that's not enough. What we do actually is take our cue from communicators like you, and we're always happy to talk and to share experiences and to plagiarize and to pick your brains to come up with new ideas so that we can tell the world about malaria, about the need for R&D, for new drugs for malaria, and what it would be like to be free of this horrible disease. So that's all I have to say, but I would like to end with this. There. So over the past 17 years that we've been in existence, we've managed to somehow, with our partners, without our partners we'd have done nothing, with our partners, managed to get distributed over, I would say, 350 million, 400 million new antimalarials. And our MMV-supported products have actually, we estimate this, have saved the lives of over 1 million people. And we're very proud of this achievement. And we like to think that our communications at MMV and MMV Pink had a small role to play in this impressive feat. Thank you.